Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Overtime, your one-stop shop for all things Rocket League, eSports, and RLCS. I'm your host, Wave Punk, and my friend Carpet here. We both all have houses.
We do.
Our houses are here. Some people were actually concerned that we actually lost our houses, and it was the fire was legitimately like on the other side of the street from my house, and it was like up the hill from you. But the California firefighters are great.
It was well taken care of. I did get a really cool moment where I was like standing at a street, kind of like just. I don't know how to say, like, watching a fire, but we were.
It's burning.
It was just kind of cool to, like, watch it come down the hill. Like, it wasn't a threat. It wasn't moving that fast. But then, like, we heard a helicopter getting close. Like, I wonder what that is. And just over the hill, like, just, like, hundreds of gallons of water just come pouring on this thing. We're like, oh, my God! And, like, it was, like, spraying us. We smelled like barbecue afterwards. It was really cool. Really fun.
The whole entirety of Burbank
cool.
smelled like fire this entire weekend. How are you guys' houses doing? Are you guys fine up in San Francisco?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I haven't been home in a while, so.
I've never had to experience raining ash until I came here. That was a weird moment for me, living in California for like almost, you know, my entire life, and then coming to Burbank and it's raining ash.
It was funny.
Car wash companies are going to thrive.
Yes, please. They saw the raining ash. They were like, yes, a gift from heaven. No, I loved Gibbs' tweet. This is the first time his wife and child have come out for the RLCS broadcast. They're down here celebrating their 5th year anniversary this week. And he's like, we're here for RLCS to celebrate my anniversary, and it's raining fire.
Yeah. It's Mordor.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably Gibbs' fault.
No.
He showed up.
Gibbs showed up.
Burbank's trying to get him out of there. It's like, let's just
Burbank was celebrating the chosen one. Guys, Season 4 of RLCS started this past weekend, and it started off with a bang. So many teams qualifying that we expected, and then a few making the upset. It's been crazy to watch these guys play. We could talk about the North American teams that qualified. It was so exciting to watch the teams we had questions about actually making it through. Cloud9 and G2, thank goodness they qualified. And you can see down there at the bottom, Emotion. Who are they? We'll talk about them later, but those guys can definitely be a big story and a team to watch as we move forward. Other teams filling out our top 8. NRG and Rogue qualified last season. We have FlyQuest, Ghosts, and Renegades making it all out.
It sounded like you just held a conversation with yourself. You're like, we see Emotion out there. Who are they? We'll talk about them later.
I will talk
Wave
about
is going crazy.
But no, everybody knows the Rogue drama happened in the offseason. Turtle. Now he's actually a substitute on G2 eSports, the starting position given to Insolences. So even though they are automatically in to this league play, a lot of question marks around them. But I think we all breathed a sigh of relief when we saw G2 and Cloud9, two of the biggest teams, make it, because Cloud9, previously the Muffin Men, previously Iris, they had the #1 seed in Season 3's qualifier and came up short. I don't think they would have even made the RLCS last season with where they finished. So it was good to see all of the big name teams, minus Fibian, make it in through the qualifier.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Fibian, I would have had it all right. We were arguing on Overtime like 2 weeks ago. You guys are like, oh, G2, Cloud9, they're gonna fail. Someone's gonna fail. And then it's like, I had confidence in everybody, especially Fibian, and then
get crushed.
Yeah, it all went downhill. Thanks, guys.
And this is huge, though, because there's no more. This isn't going to happen anymore. We're never going to have to worry about will G2 make it. I mean, now it's like, will G2 drop RLCS? Will they stay? Or if they do break up in the roster, then they have 2 seasons to come back, and that's a whole other ordeal. But there's no more of this big weekend of how many people are we going to see upsets and not. It's how did you perform throughout the whole season? And we're not going to get caught off guard. We're like, well, they haven't done well all season. Now they have to try and keep their spot.
It's going to shift way more away from, you have one day to prove everything into more of a, elongated experience.
Yeah, and the promotion relegation series is so important. And I don't know. I think we're still going to have to worry about G2, Carpet.
What?
The one thing about G2,
I'm just saying, man, they have not given me confidence ever.
You're not wrong. Like, G2 fans have to be extremely frustrated at this point. They've won very, very few things, and for all the big tournaments that we've ever had, they've not shown up. But the one thing, they have never been in the bottom 6. I don't think they have to worry about them dropping RLCS just yet. And if anything, the fact that they can take off that weight of if we don't make it into the playoffs, what are we all going to break up? Roster shuffle's going to happen. No, they've got that spot for now. They've just got to stay in the top 6.
Well, last season, we all know how that panned out. They actually fell down to that 7th spot, I believe, right? They fell down to the 7th spot. They didn't make the playoffs. But even in that situation, if they do that again, it's not guaranteed that they're going down into the rival
still have
series.
to lose the relegation.
They have to lose that relegation match. So I think it's a great move for stability, and I'm just excited to start seeing the history of these teams build up over time, because they're more, higher chance that everyone's going to stick together.
Yeah, you talked about it. This is the biggest season. No more qualifiers for RLCS because we have the Rival Series. The Rival Series is here now. We can take a look at the teams that qualified for the Rival Series here in North America. Quite a few teams here that we maybe expected to see. Some premature superhero cops was a team that people were talking about. Like, oh, there's some good guys there, but don't think they've got the RLCS material cut out. But Set to Destroy, also a team that was borderline between. A lot of people felt like they could make it in either one. But Out of Style, Lachinio's team, and then Fibian down there, a team that everyone expected to see in RLCS, going to have to play through the Rival Series if they want to make it in RLCS next season.
I think prior to this, the thoughts in the back, I think everyone's head, like, I wonder if I could make the RLRS. And I see how stacked this is. I'm like, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think so. This is a stacked league.
It's going to be tough. Who's going to get top 2 out of that pool?
I think I have no idea who's going to get top 2, but I've got my money definitely on Incognito. They knocked down, I think, both Hollywood Hammers and Splice into the losers bracket. I mean, to knock out 2 teams that people were expecting to make it into the RLCS, you can't disrespect the RLRS. These guys are the real deal.
Yeah, and even Set to Destroy, they have RLCS experience. Gambit making his comeback. He, in the first split of Season 1, was the key to iBuyPower Cosmic's victory at that first regional championship. So, that's a lot of really big names. Even Justin, we've been talking about him on Out of Style. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Those aren't going to be low caliber games. We'll see RLCS quality games from watching the Rival Series. So tune in on Fridays.
Yeah, for
11 a.m.
I'm actually really curious to know how that's going to pan out, especially because the stress, while it is high, it's a little bit different, right? The RLCS is the money is there. There's a huge prize pool. There's so much on the line. There's a chance of going down. But for RLRS, it's pretty much just you just want to go up. And I think the performance from a lot of these teams, especially for the people that haven't been around as much, Gambit, Lachinio, I think it's perfect for them to just spend a whole season grinding out what it takes to compete. And I'm actually really, I would be more scared for those teams as an RLCS team.
Especially for those players who have previous RLCS experience, but then they kind of took some time off to kind of get limbered up again and get ready to try and make a chance.
Both of them. Both Gambit and Lachinio.
Yeah, they're technically, and just off the top of my head, you have premature superhero cops, Out of Style, and Set to Destroy, who all have players that have RLCS experience down in the Rival Series. Fibian was a team we were expecting to make it there. They didn't quite pull it out, and it's so tight to the point that Hammers and Splice, 2 teams that were favorites to make it into RLCS for some people's opinions and at least make it into RLRS, don't qualify at all in this situation. So these guys, it's getting so tight here in North America, a place that's been generally having a bit more disparity than Europe.
Yeah, that was huge. Hammers, they actually got knocked out by Emotion, which was sent into the lower bracket by a team called the Dudes. The Dudes, the Dudes. They also took Ghost to Game 5. So,
oh really?
Yeah, but they failed to even make it into the RLRS. So that's a team that I would have loved to see play because they had some really good performances, but they didn't make it into the RLRS. But still, that was such a shock to see the Hammers go out because everyone knows how big of an Espeon fan I am. That was devastating to see them not in there. And then Splice, Karma, she's been working so hard for so long.
And with Pluto as well, former teammate of mine.
He's made it. He's played on the land stage at the World Championship every season up to this season.
So and it just doesn't qualify at all. Not even to RLRS, just 3 RLCSs in a row, and then he's out.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough spot for them, but it's not over. There's still going to be, after the season, 4 RLRS spots that open up. The bottom 4 teams of RLRS get kicked out, and there's an open qualifier for that. Or they could try to just
what do you guys think? This changes everything for the teams that don't make it in. It's so much more difficult to get an RLCS now. They're going to have to qualify for RLRS, play through that, get in the top 2, and then beat a team from RLCS for the next season to qualify. And if they don't beat that team, they have to play through RLRS again. What do Hollywood Hammers and Splice do with their rosters right now? Do these players stay on the same teams? Do they mix it up? What do you guys think is going to happen now with the teams that are left outside the circle?
I mean, it's tough because everyone they're going against right now is going to have maintained rosters. This is where this is pretty much the end of the reign of the roster swap. At most now you can only lose 1 player or you lose the spot that you worked so hard to get. If you lose a spot in RLCS just because you can't stick together, that's got to be crushing because it's going to take you at the minimum 2 seasons to get back. Yeah. So I'd suggest they find what they need to do now and stick with it.
Yeah, you really need to pay close attention to who you're putting on your team. I think back to season 1. it was like me and Seth Jr. and Pluto, and then me, Pluto, and Moses, and then it turned out to me, Pluto, and Espion was like our final roster. That's like 3 different roster swaps in one season. That's never gonna happen again. And so even players like Vince, who's such an incredible player for that Hollywood Hammers team, he didn't make it into even the RLRS. If he wants to get into the RLCS, like you said, his only chance besides just completely starting from scratch is going to be to get onto a roster that's already there. Yeah. And that's not going to be easy because you want to maintain your spot. You need to keep 2 spots of that team.
It's going to be 2 starters. So there's 4 spots on the team. There's a sub spot, 3 starter spots. You need to have at least 2 out of your 3 starters. So you're either going to hope to come in the starting role or get that sub position. And we've seen players come in through those sub roles, like Dude with the Nose at DreamHack.
Turbo
Pulsa, yeah,
over
subbing.
0.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's not impossible. So it's just going to be how do they want to approach it? I would imagine if they really think they're a good unit, they'll want to stick together. But obviously there's some players on teams like Vince for Hammers where you think like maybe they're the best on their team. Maybe they're not going to want to stick together. Maybe they're going to try to go and replace someone else. Maybe who has a weak showing.
Like a turtle type of situation with Rogue.
Yeah.
So the big story of North America, we had all these teams qualify for RLCS. We were expecting to see there. Some of the teams that we expected to see there not even qualify for RLRS. But the big one for us was Fibian versus Emotion. These guys, I'm playing the piano here.
Get emotional.
Just play the piano up and down.
Get emotional, Quinn.
Sound effects here. Emotion.
What was that? That's making emotional.
Oh my goodness.
I would never want to be around someone sad.
Don't ask Quinn to get emotional again. I can't handle it right now.
Just say a sentence he kind of disagrees with. That's all you got to do.
Fibian was a team that we expected to see make it, and they had probably the most hype for a rookie team in the preseason. And for the 3rd season in a row, the most hyped team preseason does not qualify for RLCS. I really feel like that preseason hype curse is a real thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ty, he was the kryptonite of Fibian. It felt like he had a really good series.
We'll get to talk to him later, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about going up against Fibian. Had to be an emotional roller coaster for those guys, but they qualified. Now, the question I kind of have for you guys right now, like Emotion qualifying through into the RLCS. We've seen this happen before, where the team that doesn't qualify, or the team that we are expected to qualify, gets knocked out, and then the team that took their spot doesn't necessarily have the best season. Do you think Emotion's got a chance to reverse that here?
I think we're going to have to wait and see. I think it's going to be very, very tough for them. Because we saw this exact same thing you were alluding to, Set to Destroy, last season. Yep. They win without winning a single series. They won just a handful of games in all of their series.
Basically, James' way of giving you a big fat no. So, I mean, not that I disagree with you, I did think that Fibian was very underwhelming in that match, and so I don't really think we got an accurate,
super
gauge of their performance.
Both teams were absolutely horrified that game. I could tell.
They were scared.
I thought they were about to say both absolutely horrible. I was like, no, man.
They were both. All 6 players were so scared to be the reason for the loss.
The implication.
So they were playing so kind of safe, which inherently made it more dangerous because they were so scared to actually dedicate to things. So they were hesitating on a lot of their touches. They weren't dedicating to things. They weren't following each other up because they just wanted to you hopefully get a solo goal and maybe I'll be there for it. But then nothing ever was, no drives were more than 15 seconds on either side.
The trademark speed of Fibian was not there.
Yeah. What I really hope is that we get to see Fibian make it all the way up. If Emotion does not do very well and ends up in that bottom spot, it would be so cool to see Fibian in the top 2 and see if they get to play against Emotion to see if they can finally get that spot back. It's one of the cool things about the RLRS. We get these long storylines between these teams. So guys, it's been pretty cool. So we're good to talk about North America here. When we come back, we'll take a quick break. We're going to talk about Europe. Do it all again, just over on the European side of the pond. Stick around. Overtime, we'll be right back.